going on? Drawing good off on FightHype.com. I'm here with Demetrius Salita. How's it going?
It's going great. We got Nikolai Potapov fighting Joshua Greer tomorrow in the co-main event on the CSPN show.
It's a big fight.
Big fight.
Talk about it a little bit?
Very excited about the fight for Nikolai. Very excited about doing business with Top Rank and ESPN. You know, Top Rank was my first boxing promoter. This is my first fight that I'm doing with them, so it's pretty special to see all the people that work for them. Many of who used to do the same stuff in 2001, 2002. So it's great to be here. Great to participate in today's weigh-in.
This is a kind of a big fight. It's an eliminator, right?
Yes.
Getting up to the championship fight.
Right.
Now, a lot of people probably looking at Greer as possibly the favorite. You know, how it's advertised. He brings out the night pillow.
Sure.
Is this a fight that a lot of fight fans shouldn't overlook? And coming to your fighter into this fight?
Well, I know Joshua Greer pretty well. He made his TV debut on my show, on Showbox, about 2 years ago when he fought James Gordon-Smith. And obviously, James was the favorite, hometown favorite. The fight was at MGM Detroit. But Joshua Greer came to pillow and did what he had to do. So he is very good. He's very dangerous. He has explosive power. But Nikolai is a world-class fighter. He's beaten world-class fighters consistently. He's fought on the big stage. He has a different style than what Joshua is used to. Definitely a tough fight, but I think that Nikolai's ring IQ, conditioning, footwork is going to give him the edge. But you know, obviously very excited about the fight. Big opportunity, big stage, big network, and
it's on ESPN.
It's on ESPN. So you know, I think Nikolai's going to do a great job.
Now, we got another tremendous card of heavyweight prospects. We want to talk a little bit about, the Jermaine Franklins.
Sure. So yes, we have a great card tonight with Jermaine Franklin, who's the best American heavyweight prospect, soon-to-be contender, fighting Jerry Forrest. Tough fight in the main event tonight on Showbox. And we have Otto Whalen, a world-rated, undefeated heavyweight from Sweden, fighting BJ Flores. BJ, tough guy. His losses were to all the top guys. Decisions except for the last loss where he fought for the heavyweight world title and lost to Travis Bryant. But a good fight for both guys, and I expect both of them to shine. Exciting night of boxing for me. And I have Samuel Peter fighting Huey Fury tonight.
Tonight on the person that you fought, Amir Khan and Billy Dibb.
Yes, so hopefully it'll be a good day.
Now, I want to ask, with you and Jarrell, you guys are still working together and everything.
Well, Jarrell is on the contract to yes.
Now, I have to ask because,
you can ask whatever, that's your job. You can ask whatever you want.
The situation at hand, unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the Anthony Joshua fight because of the failures. But there's been rumors and circulating possible talks of a Tyson Fury. Miller, is that what you guys are pushing and aiming for?
Well, there have been talks, and I've gotten contacted by the media several times, but I've had conversations with Mr. Arum, and I mean, they're just talk. Nothing real was ever discussed. So I don't think that fight is happening October 5th. That's just hype. We haven't had any real conversations about a date or about anything. So it's just. Jarrell attended Tyson's Fury fight, and Jarrell, great fighter, great talker, and obviously, with the media and the boxing fans being there, people sometimes make up great fights, and it will be a great fight. I just don't think it's happening October 5th, but it's going to be a great fight.
So with that being said, what's next for Jarrell? Have you guys had other options? Does he want to get back in the ring right away?
Well, Jarrell definitely wants to get back in the ring. He obviously got a licensing issue that we got to deal with, and just working on the best way to move forward in the most productive way.
What was those conversations like when we know that there was the problem, but afterwards you have to move forward? How did you guys kind of just hash out,
when it was time for us to kind of line Jarrell up in what direction he's going to go with, we lined them up to fight Anthony Joshua because we felt that he had a great chance to win, and obviously it was the the most money for that type of fight, and we worked together with Eddie and with Matchroom, going towards that goal, and we got to that goal, and we got the date, and we got the fight, and in boxing this stuff happens. Obviously very disappointing for everyone, but you have to deal with the reality of the situation and just take the best steps to move forward in the most productive way. And Jarrell, I feel, is still the best heavyweight in the world, and he made a mistake. But soon enough, hopefully he's going to be back in the ring doing what he got to do.
Who do you want to see Jarrell with?
I want to see Jarrell fight Tyson Fury.
He's so very adamant for.
I think it's the biggest fight in boxing. I don't know that now is the time for it to happen, but I think it's the biggest fight in boxing. And because of their personalities, and obviously, Tyson Fury fighting on ESPN and getting the exposure, really becoming such a big star, is just going to drive that fight. And I think with Jarrell hopefully coming back in the ring in a productive way, I think that there's a lot of possibilities and really a big stage for that fight. But Tyson Fury seems to be fighting Deontay Wilder. I mean, they both signed. Obviously, we know in boxing things change day to day. That's a great fight as well. As a boxing fan, that's a great fight. And with ESPN and Showtime both co-promoting that fight, it's going to be one of the biggest sporting events of the year. So very excited about that as a fan. And once Jarrell gets back in the ring and gets back to fighting, he's going to create a lot of buzz and show him where it's at.
Has anyone reached out besides like Bob Arum, like any other promoter, any other fighters? Say, you know what?
Any other fighters?
Yes, or promotion.
To fight Jarrell?
Yeah, just like I want Jarrell.
I really don't want to talk about the business of what happens.
But there's been other people
conversations
reaching out to him, though, right?
To Jarrell? I don't know who reaches out to Jarrell.
Or to you in general, just wanting to fight him.
Well, Jarrell, as of today, cannot fight as of today.
Correct.
But obviously, he's a big name and someone that has created a lot of interest throughout the years. So there's a lot of interest in Jarrell. But I'm not at liberty to say who reached out and what fights were discussed. That's not the time for it at this moment.
Okay.